This episode of the Play the Game podcast is brought to you by LoneWolfPaintball.com. And when it comes to paintball, Lone Wolf is the name you can trust. They have been in the game since the very beginning as Michigan's premier field and supplier since 1987, and Lone Wolf has built a legacy of excellence, passion, and service that runs deep in the game. From their top-tier customer service to same-day shipping on all orders, Lone Wolf makes sure that you are locked and loaded with your new gear fast. No waiting around, no hassle, just the best brands in paintball delivered straight to your door. They've got it all. Markers, loaders, tanks, apparel, accessories, and more from all of your favorite brands. And whether you're just getting started in the game or gearing up for your next big event, LoneWolfPaintball.com has everything you need. Be sure to check out their YouTube channel at Lone Wolf Paintball and follow them on Instagram at Lone Wolf PB to stay up to date on all the latest gear, exclusive sales, and community content. At Play the Game Podcast, we are incredibly grateful for Lone Wolf's continued support, and we cannot wait for you to become a part of their growing community. Head on over to LoneWolfPaintball.com right now and gear up with the best in the game. PTG family, thank you so much for being here. Are you interested in getting your brand in front of the Play the Game community? We are opening up advertising opportunities on the Play the Game podcast, and if you've got a company, a product, or a brand you want to promote to our passionate and growing community, this is your chance. Please send us over a message on Instagram at Play the Game Podcast to learn how we can collaborate and help you grow your business through the PTG platform. Once again, head over to Instagram, send us a message at Play the Game Podcast, and we look forward to connecting and helping you build something truly amazing together.
What's going on, PTG Nation? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got another excellent episode for you guys. We have none other than Colt Luckau, who is one of the masterminds behind Paintball Fit and all of their success, one of the brightest minds in the game, and currently recovering from an ACL injury that was sustained at the start of this season. He is eyeing a comeback for World Cup, which is massive news. We all hope to see it. And this was just an excellent conversation with, like I said, one of the greatest minds in the game. So without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
What is up, everyone? We're excited to be back with you. This is episode number 314 of the Play the Game podcast, and we have a really exciting episode. We've been waiting on this one for about 313 episodes to have you on because you are one of the big shining lights in the game, and you've done so much out in Texas to help paintball cultivate one of the best cultures that we've ever seen in the history of the game out there in Texas. So without further ado, one of the hardest working faith-driven programs as well. We're excited to have on Colt Luckau to join us. What's going on, Colt?
What's up, guys? Man, I appreciate it. I'm super excited to be on the show.
Yes, sir. We're excited to have you, man. You've done a lot for paintball, and you and your family are working your asses off. I know you just got done with the USXBL this weekend, so kind of tell us about your weekend over there.
Man, it was a long week. So we actually laid out a bunch of groundwork for building a 4th field. So we'll be building a 4th field after World Cup, but we had to extend a giant parking lot and just kind of keep grinding. So it was like 12 hours a day all week, just leading up until the event.
Sheesh.
And then we're out there at 5 a.m. parking cars and everything, and then we don't get home till about 8 p.m. at night each day. So it was just a lot of coaching, a lot of standing out in the sun, just trying to help all the Fit and Hydra teams, and it was a good weekend. A lot of fun, a lot of good competition. So it was good.
Yeah, it looks like it out there.
Yeah, let's give some shout outs. Who what teams won? Do you know, did any of the Fit or Hydra teams take home first place or win any series championships over there?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Fit and Hydra team, there's a lot that got top 3 or top 4 in kind of every single division. I'm blanking right now. Like I know, like in the lead, it was Ragtag. Kind of they got first. They're not a Hydra or Fit team, but they won
Shout
the
out
series.
to my boy Ashton.
Yeah, yes sir,
One of the
yes
Team
sir.
USA kids.
They had a good weekend. TKO took 3rd. I was coaching them. We got 3rd in elite, and then in D4, Dude, I'm completely blanking on D4. It was a long weekend, but
We just
I
sprung
know.
that up. Yeah, no worries. Those weekends are brutal. I mean, we know when the WC's out here, you're at the field all day. I feel like it's more draining than actually playing. When you're coaching, like the
Yeah,
mental capacity that it takes and the way it drains your mind. I mean, Monday morning, I'm usually just cooked. I'm like, I don't want any stimulation, you know?
and I wouldn't agree on that before I got hurt. And then now doing that every event, I just want to play. I'm like, dude, I don't
Totally.
want to have to
Yeah.
keep scouting all these teams all the time that normally I would just be on my phone or like
Mhm.
taking a second before matches.
Yeah.
But no, and then D5, I know Team Blank, they got third, which is big for them. I think it's their first podium, so that was
There we
pretty
go.
cool. And then I'm blanking on their name. I met all the kids. It's a bunch of kids from the Homicide from the
Mm.
Houston area. Bunch of solid dudes. They got first. That was cool to watch. But like I said, super hard to kind of like
Oh, of course. Yeah.
recount on all of it. I don't remember it all, but
No, it's booming out there. The energy, the paintball energy that is coming out of Texas is amazing to see. And you guys built that, that's from blood, sweat, and tears out there every weekend. Like you said, just tireless hours of giving back to the community. And I do want to dive into that here shortly and get into the entire story. But yeah, let's talk about the most current events. Obviously, you got injured, and that was a serious loss to the fit squad out there on the field, because the way you quarterback, the way you play is second to none. You're one of the best out there doing it. You see the field, you have big comms, big vocals, able to get the information where it needs to be at the right moments, which we talk about on here all the time. So what's going on with the recovery? How's everything been going? Kind of keep us up to date.
yeah. So when I first got hurt, I thought it was a sprain. Everyone kind of kept telling me it was a sprain. I went and saw a sports doctor. He told me it was a sprain. So my emotions were kind of good. I was like, okay, it's one event. I'll be good. Next event, I'll be good. Got the MRI results, and
I think I was the one where I'm
yeah,
sure. I think I was
no,
one
no,
of the
you
ones that was
you
like, dude, you got to
you
get an
messaged
MRI.
me and you were like, don't do anything stupid. Get an MRI before you make any decisions. I know everyone's telling you it's a sprain.
They
And in
told me
my
the same
head,
thing.
yeah, that's what you told me. And I was like, in my head,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, man. I kind of feel good. And then I get the MRI results, and it's ACL tear and meniscus tear, and like that definitely hurts because you go from like thinking you tore it when it first happened to getting told by everyone and the sports doctor that you're good, and then you kind of get hit with that oh, I'm out for a minute, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and that was super emotional to me. That day was pretty hard. I remember
For
kind of
sure.
just
Yeah.
being super like angry and kind of like, why is this happening? Like, I was grinding all off season, losing weight, getting ready for the season, coming in like the lightest I've ever been. To just get hurt at a practice was
Mhm.
pretty frustrating, but that being said, I've had such a good support system with all the guys on my team, just kind of like helping me. And my brother Johnny's been super instrumental in the fact of like keeping me in the right mental state. So like going through physical therapy, coming back, I'll skip forward to like recently when I've been able to kind of start practicing again. Um,
And
it's
hold
it
on,
was
before you do that, talk to me about the mental state and staying sharp in that regard, because that's really one of the most difficult aspects of any injury. Myself, Marcelo, we've had injuries, and to stay fortified in the mind is the most important aspect of making it out of that injury, not only healed, but stronger and moving with momentum, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. So like the biggest thing for me throughout this whole process was how can I make this more of a blessing than anything? And I do think that it's helped because now I've kind of understood like, oh, I haven't been treating my body well. I haven't been making sure I'm flexible and actually being a better player on the field. I've kind of been just using my mind as like my
Mhm.
my way to be good. And I think this has helped me a lot in okay, it's time to grind. You know what I mean? So like
Hell yeah.
it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's really hard to stay sharp in that. You kind of want to fall into that depressive state. It's really
It's
easy to do
easy.
that.
Yeah,
It's so easy, right? Because then
for
it's just
sure.
like you can just fall in that. It's a lot easier to do.
Mhm.
But now I'm just excited to to get better from it, and if I was gonna be a little bitch, then I'm not gonna help my team succeed, right? So I have to be the best role I can as a coach to help my teammates get better every weekend, right? So I'm there at every single practice, just trying to give my 2 cents. And, a lot of the times people don't want to hear from the guy that's on the sideline on crutches telling them that they fucked up a situation. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I also think that my teammates understand that I do know what I'm talking about, and they know I'm coming from a place I just want to win.
Well,
Right. So
Colt, I mean, I got to say, you are absolutely unequivocally one of the smartest minds in paintball. And I can vouch for that because, I'm sure Tyler as well. We watch a lot of film. I watch a lot of game footage. I watch a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Whatever's out there on paintball, I usually watch. And anytime they cut to the pit and you're giving any sort of information, it is so high level. And the things that you are looking for and finding and seeing on the field has absolutely been instrumental in Fit's wins when you were not on the field. And the team's success. Like it's just so obvious for anybody that understands paintball. If they watch and they hear little snippets of the stuff that you're saying, it is so important to the team's success. Like I can't say enough good things about your paintball IQ. So there are a lot of ways that you can still contribute, which you've shown. And yeah, you're right. Like, it was kind of a similar thing for me when I tore my ACL. It's how are you going to look at it? And I looked at it kind of a similar way. Like you get tunnel vision on, all right, well, there's a lot of things I need to focus on as far as being a better athlete now, rather than just, trying to be a smart paintball player. Cause when I was 20, 21 years old, I wasn't really I was lifting weights and I was working out, but I wasn't doing stuff to help my mobility, my flexibility, things that will help with injury prevention. When you're young, you don't really think about that kind of stuff. And I do believe that on the other end of it, it made me a much better athlete and player. And I think it's going to be the same for you.
no, I appreciate that. And I appreciate what you said earlier about like my IQ. Like it's, again, like with the injury, you start kind of falling into like, am I that good? Like, do I know what I'm doing? Like,
Yeah.
because like you see the immediate success without you on the field, and it kind of makes you like, oh, was I like that good? Like, was I thinking a little too highly of myself? And then you kind of start getting a little depressed. You know what I mean? But
Sure.
You're a major reason why they're able to continue, even though they didn't have you on the field.
Right.
What you provided, knowledge-wise, and you're kind of, you're allowing them to be the best version of themselves and putting the cherry on top with everything that they need to know. Right? They're great paintball players, and you're in there just adding the details, putting everything right where it needs to be. But I want to know who gave you the game? Where did it come from? Where did you get the insights? How did you build that?
Man, that's all Johnny. So like my older brother Johnny, I'm loud, so people hear me a lot, but Johnny is critiquing.
He's the watcher.
Oh, dude, he's the guy. So like
Yeah.
every single read on the field for every position, he's giving his insight on every layout to every player at all times. This is what you should have done here. Here's why. And he's really good at having a back and forth conversation with players to make them understand it, or, okay, you're actually right, that might be a better way to go about this read. Absolutely. But Johnny's been so instrumental in all of our growth IQ wise. I don't think he gets enough credit. Because like even like
certainly.
For myself, like you guys were giving me a lot of credit there, but like a lot of that comes from him, right? Like over the years watching him play, because like he's played high level since before I even started playing. And then a lot of that also like that helped us was the Jackson brothers. So like John Jackson, Fuzzy, and TJ. Whenever we were coming up with AC Dallas, they were so good at diagnosing a layout
For sure. Yeah.
and giving us like, this is why we think this is why that wouldn't work, because we just were trying to be sponges to them. So like they kind of helped, I think, mold all of our play style and IQ as well. So like a lot of that goes to, for me, a lot of my IQ I think comes from the Jackson brothers, Johnny and TJ. Those four guys are huge for how I think about paintball.
Texas paintball culture right there. And those pillars that they built in, the mind, that all came from AC. That team was badass as well. There was no slouches over there. Damn near won a world title. Were consistently at the top of the ranks for some time there. So you had some really smart minds in that organization.
Yeah, certainly. And I will say, I think you also just have a background in sports. I know this because you're the reigning fantasy football champ in the NXL league that we have. You, I believe, also have Dallas Mavericks season tickets. You know, you're always talking about sports and sports betting. So I think you've done a great job of applying, you know, what works in other sports to paintball. So you pair all that with learning kind of the process from, you know, Fuzzy Jackson and John Jackson maybe, and some of these other guys. But I believe that you have elevated beyond that. Again, just the level of detail in the little snippets that people do get to see on Go Sports. If they haven't watched your guys' games, they need to go and watch, and they need to see how you guys operate in the pits and the types of things, the types of criticism and feedback that you're giving, because it's different than probably 90% of teams. And again, I know how instrumental that is to a team's success. So, yeah, talk to me about that. Am I right about that? Does it come from, you know, following other sports and understanding those processes?
Yeah, no, I think so for sure. I definitely think like my mentality definitely comes from a lot of watching different high level athletes. A lot of it's basketball, right? Like I'm a huge, of course, it's really easy to say this, but huge Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe fan, right? Like I think the way that
You got 2 or 3, right?
you
got 2 or 3, right?
You don't like LeBron?
Not a LeBron fan. Come on now. How can you be a Kobe fan and a LeBron fan? That makes no sense.
So I think Kobe's work
greatness is greatness.
Yeah, greatness is greatness. Kobe's work
Longevity.
ethic is amazing. I mean, he's the greatest work ethic. I think his mentality of I'm better than everyone. I think that's amazing. I think that's what helped them elevate their teams and everything. But I think LeBron is such a good elevator of his teammates. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. I get that he
Kobe won championships without a top 75 player with him, bro.
Nobody's saying that.
Yeah. He also had Phil Jackson. Also had Phil Jackson. LeBron was coaching his guys and playing at the same time.
Oh no.
We'll get into that later.
Shut it down. You know what? I actually have a meeting I got to get to.
Yeah.
No, nobody's saying. Hold on. Nobody's saying that LeBron is above Kobe or Jordan. You know,
no, just not in the same conversation. So
and I would have to say,
hold on.
I would have to say that those two are elevated as well. Those two are in their own category.
Totally. And then Luka is the second best behind Kobe for the, you know, Lakers scene, modern times. Yeah,
Look at Colt.
Yeah, it's not even LeBron.
He
got a Mickey Mouse championship.
I'm still sad about Luka. Don't make my heart hurt a little bit right now.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be pulling on my heartstrings. Fucking almost canceled my season tickets.
I mean, that's a brutal trade. When I saw it, I couldn't believe it, because honestly, I have kind of stopped being a Laker fan for a while. Again, just not a big LeBron fan. Is what it is. Just not my cup of tea. But I'm so excited that the Lakers got Luka. You know, oh man,
that's you guys are gonna be good.
Yeah. Anyway, I interrupted your whole thing because of my
I get it.
terrible take on LeBron James. He's a insane athlete. Like you can't dispute it. Insane athlete. But you know, the win-loss column, like, you know, it's just not looking so good for him.
The teams he took to the finals, though, like
in the East against who? In the East against who? Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? It's craziness.
Marcelo's lighting it all on fire. Let's go.
All right,
burn it down.
But no, I mean, I think a big thing for me.
I'm gonna say one more thing about LeBron. I got to give him some sugar. I will say, to be that successful of an athlete and never have any scandals and be such a good family man, and like, you know, he's got his kids and all that. Much respect for that. I just a Kobe guy. It is what it is.
No, I get it.
And we can draw so many similarities from it, from the whole pro paradigm, right? Which, like what we were talking about, is why you've been able to turn that into success for paintball.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely been big for me. I just, I think the mentality of different athletes like that is kind of where I drew a lot from. But I mean, I don't know. Like I watched a lot of sports growing up, but I kind of just had a mentality of, I think honestly, man, like I got to give a lot of credit to my brother Johnny. I think he's given me a lot of confidence that I wouldn't have had by myself. I think he's built me up in my own head as like, fuck you, I'm better. to kind of everyone. And I think I've always had that mentality. Even like coming up in paintball, I didn't like paintball when I first started. It was something my family did that I was like, I don't want to get shot. That hurts. I don't want to deal with that. I'll just play football.
Yeah.
Um, and then we started getting more into it, and I was just like kind of coaching on the sideline, and people kept telling me like, hey man, like you kind of know what you're talking about, you should try playing, not just saying stuff from the sideline. And kind of got into playing with my brother and did a couple things that I was told was like good, and I was like, I think if I really put my mind to this, I could be really good at this. And then you start getting into the mindset of being a big guy, and maybe I'm not that good. And then you have that older brother that's constantly like, hey man, I don't think you understand, like you could be something special at this. And he's kind of instilled that into me. So like I think that's where my whole mindset comes of like, when I get told like you can't do that, I really want to prove people wrong. Like I want to come into cup and I want to win the MVP. Like that's my goal coming into cup. So I mean,
Colt, can we talk, dude? That's actually
What's
insane.
that?
You just said that. I was thinking about this last night. I've said it on the show, I think before and a few different times, but what you just said, a lot of people would see as selfish. And I don't look at it that way at all. You said, I want to come into World Cup and be MVP. And a lot of people will be like, that's an individual accolade. Why would you want that? Can you elaborate on your perspective on that? And then I'll share mine, but I'm so with you that is what players should be striving for, actually.
100%. I mean, I think MVP. I mean, for one, you can't win an MVP if you're losing.
Or if you're
Like,
selfish, or if you're
or if
playing
you're
selfish.
selfish. Yeah, like you get the MVP because you did the right thing at the right time and
Bingo.
broke open the game. That's
Bingo.
And that's my goal. I want to come into cup, and I'm not saying I want to go do a run through or something crazy. I want to come in and make sure everyone on my team is more successful because I'm on the field.
Yeah.
That's my mentality going into it. And I truly think that even if I was on crutches, I can go out there and do something for this team that's going to help everyone succeed more. Not saying that I'm better than anyone on my team. I just think what I bring to the table is that good. And I want to prove that to myself and to other people. And to be honest with you, the last month of coming back slowly, it's been a struggle mentally of thinking, should I be even trying to play? And it wasn't until I finally was like, stop worrying about my teammates or stop worrying about the league and just focus on knowing what I know how to do. And that's be the best teammate on the field. And now I'm just kind of in that mindset of like, all right, fuck you, watch this. I'm gonna go stunt. And now I'm just excited to keep grinding. I mean, and who knows? I might not play cup, right? Like it depends on how this next couple weeks of physical therapy and everything goes with my surgeon, right? But I have to be in the mindset of if I get cleared, I'm playing. And if
Of
I'm
course.
playing,
Yeah.
I want to be the best I can, right? So that's doing drills and
Absolutely.
playing these points as minimal as possible and just trying to be the best version of myself and on and off the field, right? If I'm still in that coaching role because my knee isn't up to 90%, then it is what it is. I'm gonna try to be the best goddamn coach out there.
Absolutely.
That's
And I personally think it's selfless. Actually, what you're saying is a selfless act of making sure that you're the most valuable person you can possibly be when you bring yourself to that tournament, when you bring yourself to the practice. Every moment that you're striving towards going into that event, you're trying to be the best you can possibly be. And that's MVP mentality. That's most valuable person that you could possibly fucking be. And I love the way that you bring that man, it's gritty, hostile mentality, really, when it comes to it, into proclaiming what you're going to be as well to yourself, because you have to speak. I'm a really nice person when you meet me and all this, but the way I talk to myself isn't how I speak out loud to the world. I'm actually kind of hard on myself, and it sounds like you're very similar in the mind, and I can appreciate that. But I really do appreciate the selflessness, like I was saying, of bringing that caliber of yourself every time that you approach what you're going into, because that's what it takes, not only to be the best for you, but everyone around you, every single one of them.
no, I appreciate that.
Yeah. I the kids that I work with, kids that I coach on Team USA, I want all of them to strive to be the MVP. And I tell them that individually, but it's important to also explain what that means. Again, most valuable player. So What does that mean? And you already said it, Colt. It means that you are doing the right things at the right time for your team. You're not out there looking for a run through or trying to go and bunker 3 people when your team's up 2 points with a minute and a half to go. That's not MVP play. That's selfish play. That costs you tournaments. It doesn't win you tournaments. So if you do actually win the MVP, it means that you made all the right decisions for your team and you really stepped up when they needed you the most. So yeah, every athlete should be striving for that. It's about understanding what it actually means to be an MVP. That's the important part. So no, I'm just glad you said that, because I'm sure you've heard, in all sports, I feel like that mentality gets pushed back on, and I think a lot of professional athletes in football or basketball, they even shy away from it in interviews because they know the backlash they would get if they actually just came out and said that, but it is the mentality you have to have if you want to not only be one of the best in the world or the best in the world, but also if you want to win. You absolutely have to talk to yourself like that.
No, 100%. I think the people that don't talk to themselves like that, well, they don't have a lot of wins. I genuinely think that. And I mean, and if that rubbed you the wrong way, you should start thinking about how you think about sports and how you think about yourself as an athlete, and truly think about it. Because at some point you have to not be as humble as you think. And I am humble in the fact that I know I can get better. I know I have to get better. I need to lose more weight. There's a lot I have to improve on. But I wouldn't be where I am if I believed every comment I read. If I believed everything, right? I have people now saying oh, well, when Colt comes back, he's probably not going to start, right? And that rubbed me the wrong way, because it's almost like I think a lot of people forgot how good I feel like I am.
You ball.
They forget very quick is the thing, brother.
It's the thing, right?
How sports
but you got to get in your own mindset and be your own hype guy, because if you're not, no one's ever going to do it for you until you go win, right? So I think a lot of people should start understanding that, and that doesn't mean talk shit to your teammates and stuff like that, but just be confident, man. I think that's a big thing in all sports and life in general. If you're trying to do a business, you better be confident that business is going to work. Because if you aren't, it's probably going to fail. That's
you better work.
Thing.
You better work.
Yes,
for sure. He's wired to compete. He's just from the get go. He's wired to compete.
This fucking guy literally joins our fantasy league for the first time last year and wins. It was it was just your year. I was like, of course of course.
Yeah.
He took me down. He took me down in the finals. And both of our teams scored a shit ton of points too. That was a battle of the Titans right there.
Your team went off this weekend, Marcel, in the PTG
fantasy. I know, and I still have Jahmyr Gibbs tonight. Oh no, that's in the NXL league. But I still have I've got Houston defense. I think I'm going to break 200 points tonight in the PTG fantasy.
Cole, I want to talk to you about your family. We've talked about it sporadically throughout the conversation, but really kind of dive into the family and what you guys have built with Paintball Fit, one of the greatest fields in the country. Like we said in the beginning of the show, the culture is some of the best we've ever seen in paintball throughout the history of our sport. So let everybody know, shout out all the family. Let's give them all their praise and love on this episode. Let us know who's involved with making the field all come together, and just shout out the whole entire family. I want to give them their light.
No, absolutely. So I mean, it's all of us, man. So my mom and dad, super instrumental. They live and breathe paintball. I mean, it's to the point too where it's an off day. It's fucking 9:00 at night, and they're calling hey, I think we should do this at the field, and I'm like, hey, it's Sunday night. Go to sleep. It's they
watch football.
I'm trying to relax and watch some football, and you're out here calling me about some fucking turf that needs to get laid down. But no, they love it, man. It's something my dad's always loved, and he really shows a passion for it, right? He just
when did he start?
Man, he started before I was born. It was my mom got him tickets for his 18th birthday to a paintball field, and they went there and they played, and he fell in love with it. Played with his brothers in the local scenes and stuff, and then kind of stopped after he got cancer when I was in 3rd or 4th grade. And then one of his old teammates, Billy, who actually still comes to our field and practices now with his daughter, he came, was just hey man, you've been kind of depressed lately, you got to get back out there, you're in remission, let's get you back playing. And then that that kind of was the string that got us back into paintball, and that was in
Wow.
like 2012. And then yeah, and the rest is history. Now we are where we are. They all played locally. Johnny, my dad, and Brody, my other brother, and they kind of did all that, and then I got into coaching and everything, and now we all build the fields and do everything. So there's those two, my parents, and then there's Johnny, who kind of does a lot of the business side, the social medias. He's doing, I mean, he owns like the team Paintball Fit. Like Johnny is the owner, and player as well. Right now he actually messed up his knee, so he won't be able to play. He's just been having a lot of injuries this year. Like
Sorry to
it's
hear
been
that.
rough, but
And then for world breaking news, people that don't know, you're planning on playing World Cup. Just so everybody out there
yes,
knows it. If he can play, this boy's about to play some
I
paintball
think
World
it's
Cup.
like a 99%. I'm gonna play.
You
I
heard
think
it.
I'm
My
gonna play.
my only advice, Cole, is make sure any movements you need to do on the paintball field, make sure you're doing it in physical therapy first. That'll give you the confidence to be able to make it on the field. You know, I know that was like the biggest thing for me, was mimicking a lot of the different movements with my physical trainer. My physical trainer actually came to an event, watched paintball, learned about our movements, and then we kind of curated my plan from there. And when I played again, the first tournament I played was 5.5 months after my surgery, but I was so mentally confident because I had already done everything in the rehab process. Like any movement that I was going to make on the field, I had already done multiple times, and I knew I was comfortable with it, and that really helped it not to be in my head.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the nice part is my PT guy's actually been watching like the Fit Lives on YouTube
Nice.
just to kind of understand it.
Yeah.
And he's been putting me through some dynamic movements, and I feel really good.
Good.
I feel confident. But
Yeah, like we said before the show, we want to have you for the rest of time, not just for World Cup. So make sure that you're, ready to go. If you need a little bit more time, obviously, I want to see you out there stunting because the whole industry, the league misses you, misses your energy out there. But safety first for sure. Make sure
no,
that, yeah,
absolutely.
yes, sir.
Absolutely.
We do have a question in the Discord that's fitting for this part of the conversation from Iconic Paintball Quinn. Shout out to Quinn. He wants to know, Colt, did you have a point during your rehab where it felt like coming back might not even be possible? And how was the rehab process overall? We're kind of talking about that, but
Yeah, no. I don't know. I think the first month, right? Like the first month when you're on crutches and your surgeon's telling you it's a minimum of 9 to 12 months. Yeah, you're definitely in that mindset of like, oh, okay, so I can't play till next January. You know what I mean? Like, but the more I did it, the more like I was taking peptides, I was taking all that stuff and just grinding. And now I'm at the point where I'm ahead of schedule. And it was about like right before my wedding, I went and saw her.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you. I
there we go.
appreciate it. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And I went to see my surgeon, and he was like, "Hey man, like you're actually super ahead of schedule. You might be the first person I clear at 6 months." And then 6 months did come around. He's like, "I can't clear you because you got to be at 90 something percent, and you're at 80, 82." And that was the 1st of October. So it's been another month of PT, and I think I'm getting to that point where I'm super confident. Now again, that's layout dependent, right? We get and it's not a layout that I'm feel like I can't really sprint out to this corner every point. That's
Totally.
that is what it is. But we'll see when everything comes out. And
Of course.
no, I feel very confident whether it's cup that I'm coaching or playing. But
It's a testament to your work ethic, man. And like we were talking about before we went on the tangent about your family and their work ethic, it's all a mirror image of itself. And I still do want to highlight, what you guys have going on at Fit, but it is good news. We're all happy to hear that you're healing up well, and you've been working your ass off, obviously, to make sure that you can get back out there.
no, absolutely, I appreciate it. But like other
Yeah.
than so, I'll go back to the family. So like other than Johnny doing all those things and running the team, running Vibe, running all of it. You go down and now it's Brody and Trenton, right? So like they they have been since 2016, right? Since we built the field, it's constant manual labor and setting things up. And like Trenton's there every single day with Jonathan Chavez and Jacob Johnson. and they're grinding outside all the time. I'm at both, either the shop, the shoe repair. We have a shoe repair as well, where we also ship out
There you go.
all our Hydra products and stuff like that. Brody's there, always working, doing the shoe repair stuff. But like this week, it was all hands on deck, right? So he wasn't at the shoe repair. He was with us, and it's 12 hours a day, manual labor, cutting down trees with chainsaws, fucking laying down turf, leveling out parking lots, and stuff like that. But like it's like drop of a hat, we all kind of come together and leave our stations, I guess you could say, and it's
Mhm.
all right, let's do this big project. You know, we do about one of those every couple months. And other than that, Brody and my parents are at the shoe repair. I'm there with my wife, and we're doing shoe repair stuff, Hydra stuff, and Paintball Fit stuff is kind of handled with Johnny, Trenton, and Chavi and Jacob. And then I'll come there kind of like halfway through a day, help do all that, and then get ready for nightball. And then we have nightball for the public. And it's a lot, man. But all of us are grinding. And then our guy Scott Belschner, he's also there all the time working. But yeah, I mean, it's all just the fit guys are all running the day-to-day stuff, and it's a lot
What a
of work,
blessing.
but we love it.
Yeah. That's such a blessing, man, to be able to have your entire life invested in paintball, have the entire family all working together, and having projects like that. It's fun stuff. You know, you're like, all right, y'all ready? Let's do this.
Yeah,
What do we
yeah.
got to do? Let's go.
No, 100%. Just want to keep getting the park better for the public, right? Like we listen to what people are saying, and like, hey man, like, we kind of need more parking. Like, it kind of sucks. So I'm like, okay, fuck. And we have to like keep adding more. And now we're adding that fourth field, so there's just a little bit more room, so people can get just a little bit more work in. And then we actually technically have four, and I would say a half fields, because the third field is a big field that we normally do 7-mans, but we extended that one to be able to have a small 3-on-3 field as well as a 5-man field right next to it, separated by a net.
Perfect.
So we could technically have 5 fields going with 3-on-3 for like beginner players.
Damn. That's amazing. What's
So-
the vision for the overall like 10-year plan for the field? You guys want to obviously keep expanding and becoming this mega powerhouse in Texas as you are.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the 10-year plan is just keep getting players better, keep bringing up teams, keep just making paintball better in this area so it doesn't ever die down. Yeah, just making sure people are happy and like genuinely enjoying playing. Because you don't want to where people feel like they get there and it's just not friendly, right? So I think that's a big thing, is like you were saying earlier with culture, is like, yes, everyone needs to be competitive and everyone needs to be wanting to win, but at the end of the day, like, people are spending a lot of their time to do this and money. Like, I want them to actually enjoy their time when they're at the field and genuinely like doing it, not just the competitive side of it, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's the key. That's the key to success right there for any other fields or anybody trying to even start anything. Make sure that everyone's enjoying that process. Otherwise, it's going to die pretty quick.
100%.
Yeah,
absolutely. Colt, let's dive into the last event. Obviously, you on the sidelines there, helping in the pit, coaching and doing what you do. Let's talk about that Uprising game, the quarterfinal match. Really close match, some unfortunate penalties. But what in your opinion went wrong at this last event?
Closing.
Dude, I'll tell you what he said. It was vulgar. It was amazing.
Yeah, no, I definitely was very upset. And it's frustrating because I feel like we had situations to win almost. There was one point that they would just like genuinely just beat us. Like, they were like, it is what it is. But I felt like a lot of those points, if we just work together a little bit better and I genuinely know how to close, I feel like that was our issues. We didn't put our teammates and set them up for success, right? We didn't set up our teammates for success in the closing situations. Everyone kind of just played individual paintball, which happens, like, it's a long weekend. It happens. It's just not the time you want it to happen, to have that mental gap. But I think that's why we lost. We just, we were in their snake. I remember one point specifically, we're in their snake. We're in the center. We have another guy in the snake. They're not in the snake. They're
This was
stuck in that mini W.
This was the second point, I think, and you guys
Yeah.
were down 1-0, and it was a 54, I think, right? You guys had
Yeah.
5-on-4. Yeah.
Yeah, and we all we have to do is go to their side, wrap, whether he trades, shoots the guy and stays alive and shoots the other one. Anything but look inside, get hit on the loader, and get a minor.
Penalty. Yeah.
Right? And then and the problem is he gets the minor and then immediately lose the other guy. Now they own the snake side. They end up winning that point. It was frustrating, but like at the moment, I'm super angry at the player who got it. But like, man, shit happens. You know what I mean? Like I've done that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've gotten a major in that situation. And it's just like, dude, I didn't, and it, from running through and getting shot in the pack and not knowing, right?
Yeah.
And like, you kind of just have to have that conversation. And I had a good heart to heart with him because, like, yeah, he knows he fucked up. Like, I don't have to keep, and I also admit that I'm wrong for getting that angry in that moment because, like, Doc, he knows he messed up. You know what I mean? Like, but we had a good conversation about it, and it just comes down to cardio and not getting so tired that you mentally make that mistake. And I think that was kind of the big premise for all of us is like our cardio has to be better because if we're not exhausted, I think people don't make those mental mistakes. And because it's not that we didn't know what to do, it's just had a fucking brain fart and didn't do our thing right. And now a team gets to beat us when we genuinely felt like we knew how to play the layout and that we were playing well, and we threw it away. And all credit to Uprising too. They were just playing phenomenal that event, and
They did play well.
we played into their game and they hit their shots. We didn't hit our shots, and they won the match. So
That was
yeah,
that was a very tough field to go down and and come back on too. You know, it was just a really stagnant layout for the most part. And Uprising did a very good job of controlling the field. But I love what you said about the cardio. I think a lot of people overlook that part of the game, and it's so true. You know, come Sunday, or if you're finals, if you're in the lower divisions and your finals are on Saturday, whatever, come playoff day, you're not at 100%. You're at maybe 90%. Depending on your cardio. As the day goes on, maybe you're at 80%. Maybe you're at 70. Maybe you're at 65. If you're at 65%, I don't care how good you are. You're probably not going to beat somebody that's still at 90% but doesn't have the IQ, right? But they still feel fresh. Like that is when the mental air, it's not just how you feel physically. It's more than anything, the mind. The mind starts just getting a little woozy and you make some decisions that you normally wouldn't make. So cardio is imperative to, really any sport, obviously. But
every player can relate to what you're saying too. Every one of us has been like, oh, damn. What did I do?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be good. I think that happening is good. I think everyone's been working a little bit harder just because of that.
There we go.
Man. From a coaching standpoint, I'm curious, what is your favorite thing to look for in the other team? What's your number one thing? I have mine. I'll share it. Not trying to get you to divulge a bunch of, top secret stuff, but I'll share mine from a coaching perspective. There's one thing that you look for. Is it who they're shooting off the break, where they're going on the break? Because I think coaches look at things differently. A lot of coaches are so worried about where the other team's running to off the break. Some coaches are more worried about, how well a team is shooting. If you had to choose one thing, I know obviously it's usually a multitude of these things, but if you had to choose one thing that you could take and really look for, what is it?
I'm trying to, there's a lot.
You can only choose one.
I would say the secondary moves. I think tendencies is a big thing for me. I think paintball's won and lost in the mid game. So I like to look for what players do in certain situations so that I can, when I get into that situation, or I can tell my teammates, like in this situation when I'm not playing, hey, when we get in this situation, this player's immediately going to go, or he's never going to go. So you can play through that and not have to worry about him. I think that's a big thing for me is watching player tendencies, especially starters. But that would probably be the biggest thing, I think.
For the listeners, for an example, like if if Tyler and JC are on the snake side and we see that JC gets shot off the break, does Tyler stay in the can or does he try to fill out right away? That stuff can help your team pick up some really quick eliminations. I love that, Colt. That's a really high level part of the game that I think a lot of divisional coaches probably overlook. They look at the very, basic stuff. Where's the other team running? I don't love that because you can't predict that. You don't know if they're going to do that against you. I personally, if I had to choose one thing, I like to find a player that you could pick on. And you can almost always find, like, if a player, and this is tendencies, if a player is going slow into a can, okay, we can shoot that and give ourselves an immediate advantage. If a player is flying down the Dorito side and that is the root of a team's success, okay, we're going to just shut that down. That's going to be part of our plan, is make them beat us from somewhere else. I like to find, certain players that you can pick on. Some players, might be like scouting Mouse for many years, playing against Mouse. A lot of teams, and Malloy's very similar. A lot of teams would make the mistake of like, oh, let's put all of our guns to try to shoot them on the break. And then you can't shoot them on the break. They still make their spot. And now the rest of the team is also somewhere else. So it's like, okay, let's let them have this spot on the break, contain them, and try to shoot someone else so that they're in a down body situation, right? It's
absolutely.
Yeah. Find the stuff that you can effectively pick on in a match. And in the lower divisions, it's so much easier too, because way easier. Yeah. So like the lower divisions, if you're coaching, that's the kind of stuff you should be looking for, because there's a lot of stuff you can exploit. The pros, for the most part, are pretty good about disguising stuff, but really there's still so many tendencies that are easy to read. There really are. It's it's a whole
100%. It's natural, right, to have tendencies like that, and a lot of people don't even realize they have them. So
yeah,
it becomes easier and easier the more you kind of watch players and see how they play. But
all the little nuances, those details, the mid game, the off the break, how they close, those are imperative pieces of information. If you want to we talk about building out a picture in your mind of what's going to happen out there. If you want the full picture, you need to get all the details. Every pixel's got to be dialed in, of what's going on with every single player out there. I do have a fun question from young Stavi. YS, he's the overlord of PTG world. If you want to join and hang out with us in the chat, head over to our website, click that Patreon and join us there. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We got a bunch of chat rooms. It's always going off. He says, Colt, PB Fit did an amazing job growing the Hydra brand. The arm pads are fantastic. What's the next Hydra product that everyone can possibly look out for?
We have some stuff. I don't know if it's coming out at Cup. And just some different collabs, I think, is like the next thing that's coming up. We should have some stuff with JT coming out, whether it's at Cup or right after. I think the goal is Cup, but I would keep an eye out for those. Nice. Those products. They're going to be pretty
I will say, sorry, missed a little part of that. I was looking. Are these can I talk about the arm pads? Because I saw them. They were given to some, I think you guys gave some to Wrecking Crew. Is that right? Where did I see them?
I'm not sure. Talking to my dad, he gives out a lot of stuff. So that's.
But where you can change out the.
Yeah. It's like there's the impact one that's really meant for like players that dive really hard, right? Yeah. So like I had a player this weekend, core sample, but he like hit the shit out of his elbow first, and he was like, "Dude, I didn't even feel it, and I have shoulder problems." And I was just like, "Oh, that's kind of the point of it." Is like I want that to absorb the shock. I got another player. He plays for our D2 Beefy Boys, and he goes to physical therapy over his shoulder. And he was like, "Dude, I haven't." And he plays Snake, which is crazy because he like is terrified to dive because he keeps messing his shoulder up. But
I'm going to the Snake. Yeah.
And he was telling me that since he started wearing the arm pads, like the shock absorption in those elbows, he's not feeling it in his shoulder because it's all going to that spot. Yeah. And it's been saving his shoulder. And that's kind of why we built him like that. And then the soft part is just for the minimalist, right? Like the Ryan Moorheads who don't like arm pads.
That's still way too much for him.
No, I don't expect him to ever wear them. But those are nice too. So like Jacob Johnson, he even dives super hard. He likes the minimalist ones just because that's just what he likes. And it still gets bounces and it's just not as much padding, so you don't really feel it there, and you still catch it for the bounces.
What's cool is that it's one arm pad and you can change out the foam, right? You can change out the size. Like that's really neat. The fact that I don't think any other company's ever done that. I'm pretty sure you guys are the first. It's a really cool concept. Yeah.
Innovation.
Nice work, guys.
It's amazing.
Nice work.
Yeah, and the quality of the stuff's great. The style. Who came up with the whole Hydra movement? Who was that?
That's Johnny. I'm telling
Johnny.
you,
Johnny.
That's all Johnny. Johnny and my dad just that's been like his whole goal was the Hydra mentality of get your head cut off and come back stronger. And I think, not even on purpose, but we're kind of a living testament to that, right? Like we get relegated. The next year we come back, we win the first event, and then we kind of struggle throughout the year and we lose by 1 point. The series to come back right after getting relegated. And then the next year we came back stronger and won all 5. Right. And then we go, do what we did last year, winning cup, and then having a pretty good year this year. So it's just come back stronger. Don't let the losses define you. Just make it be better. Right. And that's the same with like my knee. Right. That's the mentality. Make it be better for your whole life.
Yeah, I do, because I'm pretty sure we had you on after the second event in 2023. You guys had just won 2 in a row. And I don't remember if you had a full episode, but you definitely called in or came on. Do you remember?
Yep.
Yeah. You came on for a segment. But now since then, you guys won 3 more events in semi-pro that year. You bumped up to pro, didn't have a great showing at the first one, was kind of like, okay. And then all of a sudden you guys do what literally everybody said you couldn't do. I mean, myself included. I was like, I didn't know that style was going to be able to translate as well as it did. I thought it was going to be a steeper learning curve. That's usually what we see. That's historically how it's been. You guys come into World Cup, you win World Cup. People still were throwing doubt on it. Like, okay, they caught fire one Sunday. It happens. Pretty crazy to do at World Cup. That was kind of my thing. I was like, look, accidents don't happen at World Cup. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like some of these other events, accidents can happen. They don't happen at World Cup. So this team is definitely serious. And then sure enough, you guys come into the next season, this season, and you win the first 2 events. Talk to me about that and what it's like to not only win your first pro event, but then go on and win 2 more. What is that mindset like with the team? And what do you think contributes to sustained success?
I think it's not being complacent. I think it's setting giant goals, not baby goals, right? I mean, we went into that year and I remember being on episodes and people asking how we were going to do. And I was like, top 10, right? And like, that was like a weird thing, I think, for people. And I truly believed it. And I think it's like I said earlier, it's at some point you can't be as humble as everyone wants you to be. And you got to truly believe that you are the shit, that you are the best. And if you don't believe that, you're not gonna be, right? So it's kind of the mentality we put in everyone. And I think it was throughout that year, it was getting everyone to remember who the fuck we are. I think that was a big thing coming in, is people were getting nervous playing against, the big names, the big pros. And I think people were listening. And I'm not saying that they were. I know, like, I wasn't, but like, some people I think were getting nervous, and it was what it was, right? And then we kind of had a nice team meeting, and it was like, yo, like, we're that fucking good. Start believing in it and start manifesting that we're gonna win this next tournament. And that was going into cup, because we lost that Sunday match against the Russians in Chicago and got mercied, and we were just like, never again. Like, that was all mental. We rewatched the film, and it was like, I'm done being complacent with just okay to compete. We're here to win. We're the best team here. Let's go fucking prove it. And that's been the mentality, I think, going into that cup and from here on out. And now anytime we don't win, we honestly look at it like we failed. And I think that's a big thing for me, at least. Like, if I don't walk home with a win, I'm not really like happy. You know what I mean? Like, but I think it's instilled into everyone. And again, that kind of comes down from Johnny. Like, he's a big, like, the disappointed dad whenever we don't succeed. Not that he's super angry at us, but it's just kind of like, hey man, like, you're better than that. You fucked yourself. You know what I mean? And I think that's been our mentality since Chicago.
Now, Colt, a lot of
God bless Johnny, dude. He's the man. Let's go, Johnny.
Yeah, we need to get Johnny on the show for sure.
Immediately.
We do.
A lot of players and a lot of teams have this kind of false bravado, and they exude confidence, and it doesn't show up when it matters most because it's not real. And, you said something there where This is your rookie year in the pro. Well, I guess technically second year for some of you guys, but a new pro team, not much experience, no big names. How did you guys actually say to yourselves, we're the best team here? That had to come from somewhere, right? So like, what gave you the confidence to say that, knowing that you didn't have the experience, you didn't have the big names, you just had each other? What is it? Because obviously that confidence was real. It wasn't fake. It wasn't false bravado. It was real. And it became evident when you guys won 3 events in a row. But where did that come from? Because you have to be able to build that confidence from something. If you don't have the experience, the players, where does that come from?
I mean, a lot of it, like I think faith in God and faith in the work you put in. I think that's kind of that's a lot for us. I think is we genuinely just have that faith that, like, I believe that we are the hardest working team. I believe that, but I also think that we're way more talented than people will give credit. I think a lot of people give the credit to the fact that we play a lot of paintball, but like, we're not a lot of big names just because we didn't win. But like, now all those players we're all big names. You know what I mean? Like, we're all phenomenal players. And I think that's like the mentality is we just have that belief in each other. And I think it's your teammates giving you that belief when you are down on yourself that helps, right? Because there's times where Jonathan's just not confident. And I have to go up and like talk to him, right? And there's times where I'm not confident. He's got to come fucking talk to me and be like, yo, motherfucker, like, you're that guy, right? And I think it's us building each other up and confidence that, like, no matter what happens, everything happens for a reason, So like, if we lose, it's because it's to get us better.
Hot
right?
take.
That's just how I feel about it. I'm still gonna be angry when I lose, but I do have the faith that everything happens for a reason, and I got my faith in God and the work I put in, and I'm gonna go stun on people. That's kind of the mentality of the whole team. And again, I think it's the self-confidence from your teammates that help a lot. I think that's a big thing, but it's also, like, I remember when Diesel put together their star-studded squad and we were in semi-pro, and it's not really talked about. And if they want to have a conversation about it, we can have it. But we kind of beat the shit out of him all year. So it's
you
one
mean
thing
in practice,
yeah. So and
that's not what I heard.
Yeah, I bet. And there was a lot of shit talking at those practices where I got Goldman telling me I'll never be great. That has struck a chord in me for a solid year, and like, and I'm cordial with him, but like, he was talking a lot of shit, I was talking a lot of shit, and those practices were very heated, but we beat him a lot, right? And we're like, if that's a star-studded team, that's the best talent, I think we can beat every pro team, right? We just have to be on our shit. So that was I think a good confidence boost for us going in after the semi-pro year. And again, I have a lot of respect for Goldman, phenomenal player, one of the greatest to ever do it.
It's sports.
But yeah. But like, he did do something that day that now I have something to prove every tournament that I play.
Damn it, Mouse! Look what you did. Excuse my language. Hey, real quick. I have a hot take on this, Colt, and I wonder if you agree. The year that you guys were semi-pro, so the year after you got relegated, when you barely missed out by earning the pro spot that year, I believe that if you guys did actually earn the pro spot that year, you may not have won a pro event for quite some time. I think you guys staying in semi-pro another year together and winning all 5 events was part of building this like insane, winning culture that gave you guys a level of confidence that is, you can't, it takes a decade of experience to capture that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll take it a step further. I think the same thing with getting relegated. I think if we don't get relegated, we're probably still AC Dallas, and we're a top 15, top 16 team.
Yeah.
We're fighting for relegation every year, right? Like, it's a real thing that I genuinely think everything happens for a reason. And that's the faith in God I was talking about, right? Like, I think when things happen, it's like, okay, this must have happened for something. How can I get better from this? And that's kind of been the mentality, right? And the again, like in the Hydra mentality, is get better from it. You're either gonna be a little baby, or you're gonna get better from it, right? And it's the same with, if you're not getting play time on your teams or whatever that is, like, You're going to pout in the corner, or are you just going to show that you deserve the play time and you're going to come back stronger, right? That's
the mentality right there, man. Like, that's one of the, I think I've shared this on the show before. One of my favorite things my dad would always say to me when things would get tough, he'd be like, what the fuck are you going to do about it? What are you
yeah.
going to do about it? What are you going to do? You got options. Look at them. What are you going to pout? You're going to do it all? Are you going to try and go for more? And look at how you've made your biggest pitfalls your greatest blessings. The greatest achievements have come from the greatest lows. So for everyone out there listening, just understand it's not all sun rays and championships and great times. You have the biggest pitfalls, the biggest lows imaginable to help boost you into the new frontier. And that's through, like you've spoke about, man, having faith in a higher power, having faith in something bigger than yourself will help guide you through that. And there's so much power in the words that you've spoken on the show here. I just want people to understand that it's not easy. It is not easy, and it's not meant to be. It's meant to test you on every level. But when you find that new version of yourself on the other side, look what happens. Look what happens.
100%.
That's where it's at. Yeah.
I think it's also so important to all the divisional players listening here to understand how imperative it is for your own success and your development and your team success to learn how to win. And then also in practice, always try to play the best team you can. I know growing up for Tyler, myself, we were very fortunate to have a lot of the top pros out in Southern California, Northern California for Tyler. And we were able to play against them often. When I was like 12 years old, I remember winning a one-on-one against Isaac, shout out to Paintball Nerd. And he was on the Ironman at the time. And it was like such a profound moment for me. I mean, I remember it to this day. I tell the story to this day. That gave me so much confidence in one-on-ones, and just my abilities. I was 12 years old. I was like, how did that just happen? I might've been 13, but I was real young. Had good fundamentals, obviously, but maybe got a little lucky, but that boosted my confidence a tremendous amount. Then with Aftermath, we got the chance to play against Dynasty as a Division III team, on almost every off weekend. And we just got our absolute shit pushed in for a long time, for like 8 months, maybe won a couple points, maybe. And then it would slowly start to shift. And all of a sudden we're like winning like 10% of the points. And then, we're making all the points harder. We might not be winning them, but we're not just losing in 30 seconds, And then by the end of our Division III year, we were like actually winning consistent points against them. We're like, we can do this. Like we skipped a division. We won Division I, the very next, the first tournament that year. We won all 5 Division III tournaments. It's like that doesn't happen without, playing against better people and getting absolutely beat up. I hear a lot of coaches, they're like, well, we don't want to play this team because it's going to be bad for our confidence. That is the wrong mentality to have. Like, you got to be willing to play against the better teams, the better players, go through those struggles together, keep the right mindset. That helps build your character. It helps build your, IQ, everything. It's a very, very important part of this.
No, 100%. I mean, that happened to us too. We were D3 as Fit. Like, we're playing against the original AC Dallas, and it was rough, right? You're getting your ass kicked. But the nice part is, like, bro, ask those players questions. Like, hey, like, what do you? Because it's gonna help their practice too. Unless they're just not good to practice against, they should be trying to help you because they want you to get better, so they have a better practice.
Totally.
Right. So, like, for us, we'd ask them stuff, and like I remember one practice specifically. It was actually the D2 year, but it was like during COVID. So it's like just now coming back, we're playing, and we're like losing to them. And I remember John came up, and he just like came up yelling at this one kid. He doesn't play paintball anymore, but he was yelling at him, and he was just like, "You're screwing my practice over because you're being a little pussy and not going. So, like, you're making it to where I don't even have to play the D side. You're screwing your teammates over, and you're making my practice bad because now when I get to the event and I got players actually pushing, it's not going to play like this." Yeah. And I remember him doing that and being like, he's not even coming over to make you better. He's coming over to make sure he has a better practice.
Right. Right.
And I was like, he kind of walked away, and I walked over to my team, and I was like, "Hey, dog, like, he's kind of right. Like, you can't keep looking inside. Like, you got to go, man, at some point." And he did start going, and he started playing better. But, like, I feel like it's kind of you kind of have to have both. You want to play the better teams, but you also want to find a team that you guys can be open with each other. I think that's a big part of it too. And, like, to have a genuine, this is what you should have done there. Hey, this is how I caught you. And that way both sides can get better. And that's what we try to do at Fit is like with our, because we play a lot of the semi-pro shut up team and the D2 beefy team and on layouts and stuff like that. And we try to just keep being like, yo, dog, like you got to start doing this at some point, or I'm just gonna keep abusing you.
Yeah.
And like I gotta figure out some reads. So like I need you doing this, I need you doing this, like, and I'll even go over, even when I was playing, I'll go over and I'll be in their pit and just like watching and kind of coaching them midpoint to make them win a point, and then be like, you see why I had you do that? Because you did this, and then it freed up that side, and like, and they I think it helps them, and they also when I come over, I'm like, yo, you're shooting us here off break. Keep doing that, right? And like, but I feel like if I just wanted to win practice, I'm just gonna like,
of
using
course,
people and beating their head in and feel
feel
good about it, right? So, but no, I do think as a lower divisional, you need to be trying to play the higher up guys, and a lot of teams they'll just ask them. Like a lot of teams, they'll let you at least get a couple points in, right? It's maybe you won't get a whole day, but getting 2 points in against a higher level team, it is good if you go about it the right way mentally, right? Like, but if you're just doing it and you're just angry or accusing them of cheating, it's not going to do anything for you. But,
no, you're right, and you, like we talked about earlier, you're probably going to have to work a little bit too. If you really want to make this thing happen, you might have to drive an hour or two to get to a team that is going to be top tier and is going to show you things on the field that you might not see at your local park, right? And I love what you said, Colt, as well, about finding you need a team that you could be gritty against and have some crazy competition and have them try to make crazy plays and things that you wouldn't see at your local park or whatever. But you also need a partner in this to grow with that's going to give you good feedback, because most of the teams you play, they're not going to tell you if you bounced them or if the paint was too high, too low. They're not going to tell you anything. So having someone, and I know that you guys have a great system at Fit that does this when y'all are training. There's a lot of great feedback coming back on where the shots are, how everything's looking. So finding a team that you can really work closely with in that regard as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. And kind of to touch back on earlier question with like where that confidence for the pros kind of came from. Like I don't even know why I didn't bring this up, but it reminded me when I was talking about the story with John. But like we played those guys when we were D4, they'd play us at the end of their practices. They would literally play diesel all day, and then because diesel was semi-pro at the time, and then when we would be done with ours, we'd wait geared up for like 2 hours. And then they would finish and they'd be like, yeah, you know what? Come get some reps. We'd play them for 10 points. We'd play them for 5 points, right?
Yeah.
And then D3 came and we started playing them a lot. Like we were playing on the layout with Diesel, AC Dallas, and us in a 3-team split for the entire D3 season. We won 4 that year, right? And I think that was instrumental because like it was super competitive. We were super competitive with the semi-pro team. We were super competitive with the pro team, to the fact that where they were using us to figure out if they could make spots off the break. You know what I mean? Like they were using our guns because we were hitting our shots better, right? So like I remember World Cup specifically when I was shooting one of them going to the we call it the Delta, but it was the D side Aztec. And they were coming over and they're like looking at me and they're waiting for the buzzer to go to see if I'm leaving early because I just kept shooting them. And then they're like, no, he's just fucking hitting the shot. It is hittable. Yeah. Like, and then I remember that because it kind of gave me that confidence of like, oh, I'm pretty good at shooting off break. That's
a moment for you right there. Kind of like what I'm talking about with the one-on-one, it's like
100%.
You have these moments that you're like, yeah, this is a turning point. Like I actually can do this. I'm doing something really, and you build on that.
Yeah, 100%. So like for 2 straight seasons, we got a ton of reps against, the prime AC Dallas and a semi-pro winning team with AC Diesel. And then, after COVID, then, long story short, then we get relegated and all that stuff. Right. But, but no, I think that was huge for us. Cause like we kind of tap back into that mentality of like, hey man, like we've played some pros that have made finals consistently, been top 4 teams, and we were pretty competitive with them when we were D3 guys. Like you gotta tap back into that confidence. And then I think that's what kind of started getting back into that mentality of like, no, we are that good, and like went about it that way. But I completely forget all about those years. But
Yeah, no, I love it. And again, some teams have false bravado, a lot of yelling and screaming and, talking shit. And then other teams are actually confident, and it's built from a very strong foundation and doing the right things. And those, the more that you stack those small wins, that confidence just builds and builds and builds. And you guys have been doing it with the same group for so long. You guys have the, chemistry, the whole thing. Yeah, it's really special to see. It's obviously become a little, it's reminded us what the blueprint can be, which is so powerful. Play a lot of paintball together, really dive into the details of this thing, take care of yourself, and find ways to be better every single day. Colt, we got quite a few Discord questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
We'd love
I got
to
time.
hop in. Yeah,
go.
sweet. I have a good one here from Dilly Kills. Shout out to Dilly Kills. He wants to know, hey, Colt, as one of the best threes in the league, what drills do you like to do by yourself or with one other person to improve your game?
So I don't really drill with other people. It's more like a superstition thing. There's been multiple times where I've drilled with someone doing off the break stuff, and I don't know if it's just because they don't want to tell me they're tired, but then they end up getting hurt. And I'm just like, it's just at the point where I'm just like, nah, like I don't have anyone run. I don't have anyone do any of that stuff, not running any back at me. I'm like, I'll be self accountable and playing tight. But no, I mean, I love running and gunning. I think that's big for me, especially at my size. I think I have to be accurate because if I'm not, people are going to shoot me on the move. And then of course off the break shooting, that's a must every time.
How do you set
Um,
up your off the break shooting drills if you don't use a partner?
I
Just
I,
the
I kind
target?
of walk it out myself. I'll look at my spot. If I have to, I'll take a picture of my phone and then I'll go to the other side of the field and kind of like walk it. It takes a little bit longer to set up because you're by yourself, so you have to you go down, you come back with your gun, and you're like, damn it, I put it in the wrong spot. You gotta like, go back over there and move it. But no, I do a lot of just by myself doing that, and now with the silent count, I don't really have to set up a buzzer or anything like that. So now
Right.
I'm just, I shoot about 3 to 5 balls at a target. I won't sit there and just ramp on it because I want to hit it in those first 3. Not, my 10th ball, because by that time that guy's already dove into the corner,
Yeah.
That's kind of how I set up the break shooting drills. And like I'll base it off the layout after, right? So like most of the time I won't do breakout drills till after we practice so that I can kind of see the timing, and then I'll set up my breakout drills and do that. But if it's a layout I've already played, then it's real easy to just go out there and set up a target and
Of course.
get to
Yeah.
work. But yeah, I think running and gunning is a big one that I don't know if a lot of people do as much. But again, I don't run and gun and like ramp. I'm running, but I'm like tapping the trigger, just 1, 2, 3. That way I can shoot like a little bit and actually be accurate instead of hearing the dings and getting that dopamine from it. And really, I was super inaccurate. You know what I mean?
Well, you also with that can make a little amount of paint go a long way. Like I
Yes.
love our my drill days when we go out, been going out with Mouse quite a bit, but I've got this, little mantra. It's one case, high pace. Like you don't need more than a case. And really you don't need more than a couple bags. Like you can make a couple bags go a long way if you're not ramping and you're really focusing on accuracy and cardio, and you just keep the tempo up so that you kind of get into the deep end where you're tired. And that's when you need to hit your shots. You can be so effective in working on your skills with a little amount of paint. You don't need to be, shooting 3 or 4 cases out there, every time on a drill day. You can get a bag even, Rusty,
100%.
Tyler, you remember when we were preparing for the World Cup in 2020, Rusty had a great thing at the end of every practice. We started everybody, you think you're done with practice. You've already put in the extra few reps. You're kind of exhausted. And then Rusty's like, nope, everybody grab one bag and you can only one ball, and everybody set up a drill and you guys are just going to go and, so 250 balls with the left, 250 balls with the right. And that kind of stuff is just really important, and especially when you're tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the best. Those are some fun times after practice where, all the guys are like, all right, good practice. And Rusty is like, nah, buddy.
Yeah, grab a
Get
bag.
your ass out there.
Yeah, it got to a point where we're like, oh, we get it. We know it's coming. So we'll just go grab the bag.
I got a personal question. What would you tell your younger self about being more patient and just having faith in the process.
I mean, exactly that, right? Like, everything will work out. Everything's gonna work out in time. Just keep working. Just
That's
keep
it.
working and having the confident mentality. I would tell myself, don't pay attention to social media. I think that's
I
a
don't know.
big
That
thing
might
I've
have helped
been.
you.
I think it helps. It does help. Even like yesterday, dude, I saw like a video someone shared of like the semi-pro year with like a clip with like me and Jackson getting into it and people talking shit on that, and I'm just like, God, I haven't even played for a year, and I still got people just talking shit. And it is what it is. But what I mean by that is like let it fuel you. Don't get like upset about it, if that makes sense. And I think that's
Absolutely.
The
something
higher
that
you
it's taken me to
climb,
learn.
the more
Yeah.
arrows pointed at you.
Oh
Yeah.
no, 100%,
That's the way it
100%.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, big facts. No, that's a great question there, Ty, and great answer. All right, I've got one. Shout out to Rounder. He wants to know, Colt, what did you see in Cyrus to pick him up? And Cyrus is also in the Discord. So
Dog.
shout out. Hello,
No,
hello,
I was gonna
Cyrus.
say
Yeah.
just a dog, dude. So like he came out to XTPL. I got introduced to him by one of the guys on Shut Up, Logan Hansel. So he introduced me to Cyrus. He brought him down. He was D2 at the time, and he was playing XTPL with me at our champs. Because one of us will play on a D4 roster, so he fit on that D4 roster, and then I got to be the pro player. And right before the night before our tournament, my entire team canceled. One of them
Damn.
got food poisoning, so they all used it as like, oh, we gotta take him to the hospital. The
No.
reason why is we played a whole tournament the day, or they played a tournament the day before. They were doing a back-to-back day. They were just tired. You know what I mean? And I like all those guys. That's who won D4. They actually won D4
Oh,
this
nice.
last
There you go.
weekend.
Congrats. There we go.
The smoke guys. But they all canceled. So I had to just like I messaged him and I was like, hey, and it's midnight. We play at 8 in the morning. And
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, message him like, hey man, I think we're still playing, but I gotta get a whole new squad. And he's just like, all right, you just let me know. Let me know what I need to do. I get a bunch of guys. We play with 6 of us. And the whole time he was very, very receptive with me. And I know like I'm like a hard person to perceive if I'm angry. And he handled it very well and he gave me a lot of good feedback whenever I'd ask him stuff about the layout because it's a blind layout. So like I just felt like we clicked very well whenever we were outside the tournament and it's just us hanging out in between matches. We got along very well, and I knew that he worked very hard and he was a good hard worker. And he kind of let me know, like, kind of making like a joke, but he was like, "Yeah, I work remote." So like I could move to Texas, and like we kind of laughed about it because at the time he's with Dynamic and they were leading the series in D2, I think. It's like we made a couple jokes about it, and then we came to Cup. What's even funnier about Cup is like, and it was never on my mind at the time to like pick him up. You know what I mean? Like we had a roster. We're winning all the events. I'm not worried about picking anyone up, but I did really like him as a person and as a player and his work ethic. And then we went into to Cup and we were making jokes there about it. And one of his teammates came up and was like, "Hey, stay the fuck away from my guy," and like making jokes about it. And looking back, I'm like, he definitely thinks I was just trying to pick him up the whole time. But it's just not how that happened. And then after the finals, I watched how he played. I thought he was a good teammate on the field, and I liked the way he played. And then we went into our finals. We won ours, and um, after that event, I kind of contacted him. And I was like, "Hey, were you serious about actually moving to Texas?" And he was like, "I mean, absolutely. I would love to come play with you guys." So I called him and I was like, "Can you give me a phone call?" I called him and kind of told him, "Well, I mean, if you're serious, it's not because we don't do tryouts. Like I was just like, if you're serious, I liked how you played. I like you as a person. You have good work ethic. If you would like to come and play with us, by all means, let's try to have you come out during the off season, see how you like it. You know what I mean? Like see if you actually vibe with the rest of the team. Because at the time he only really knew me. Like we only both were the only ones talking. But he came down and everything clicked perfectly, and it feels like he's been with us for 10 years. Like everyone gets along great, and he literally the next week, I guess he'll have to tell this story, but I think he went home and he just was like, asked his girlfriend, like, hey, like, I'm doing this, or you want to come do it with me? And then they came, and he told his grandma,
Yeah.
I'm moving. And
Yeah,
now,
he shared this story on the show, and it's just an incredible story for sure.
yeah,
You know,
no, but I love Cyrus, dude. I feel like I've known him for 10 years. Like, the dude just clicks perfectly with us, and it's been seamless.
Did he show up with the cowboy hat on?
He did. He did. He
cool.
did the first
Attaboy.
event. I gave him shit for that too. I was like, "You're not. What are you doing? You're from Florida." And then he's like, "You don't understand. I'm from the Panhandle." And I was like, "All right, that's
Yeah,
fair."
it's
Yeah.
different. It's different up here. What?
Yeah.
So I want to say one thing about Cyrus, and this goes out to any teams looking to pick up players. And I know it speaks for me personally. This is how I feel: is if I have someone that has good values and is receptive to information, doesn't really talk back and have snappiness to them, and really just has the right mentality and work ethic, I'll pick a player to play next to that has that over a more skilled player that doesn't listen and has the attitude and all those things going on. I'll take 10 out of 10 times. I'll take that player over the more skilled player. So just try to be mindful of that. If you are trying to make that push into the top tier of paintball, that's what we're looking for. We need receptiveness. We need you to kind of, it's like when you break a horse and you need them to be part of the show. You got to break the horse in and put the saddle on it and be like, all right, you're a show horse now. Let's get you going with the squad. This is what we do here, you know? But if you have a horse that you can't break, it's hard to get them to be a part of the show and a part of the program. So just be mindful of that. And that goes way past paintball. You know, it'll help you in every aspect of your life. And Cyrus embodies that to the fullest. Kind of like I can't say enough good things about Mike Urena as well. My teammate has one of the best attitudes, one of the best mentalities. Just always, you know, looking to make sure that he's giving the best that he possibly can, and that's what Cyrus does as well. So shout out to Cyrus. You guys have been absolutely dominating, and the squad has one of the best families, and it's no wonder why you guys all do so well together. There's a lot of camaraderie, and everybody has each other's back. Let's see. We got Fab in the house. Colt, you're part of a family that has had significant impact on growing the sport in your region. What is the number one thing that you think the league should be doing or could do that they aren't to grow paintball as a whole?
I mean, I feel like that's a pretty loaded question. Just because there's a lot of opinions on that. I will say with the 3v3 thing, I like the format. I don't like 3v3. And the reason I say that isn't because how it plays, it limits the amount of pros that can play pro. And I think when you do that, you're gonna shrink the league 100%. You're gonna hurt areas that have a lot of opportunities to be pro. People will see less ways to make it pro and stop playing. I think that's just what's gonna happen. But I love the running clock. I think that's cool because it makes for bigger rosters, more line changes, and you can do true X-ball. And I think people don't want to see two different teams. I'm not watching the NFL. I'm watching fucking the Browns and the Titans play, and then the next game is the Chiefs and the fucking Lions.
Well, I don't know why you would ever watch the Browns and Titans play anyway.
Because they're stuck in the switch, the fucking together match. You know what I mean?
That's the only reason.
But that's why I'm like, no, dude. If you want it to be like that, we need to do the true X ball, and I think the running clock, and I think it'll make for more complex games because now you got to rotate in, right? Like. You watch the NBA and the NFL, and you're not watching.
The only reason Tyler and myself got opportunities as young kids is because there were 15-man rosters. If it was like X-Ball is right now, Tyler and I do not get that opportunity. It just is what it is. That's the reality. We would not turn pro probably until, 18, 19, 20. Like if that, right? I agree with you fully on that.
But I think that would be better for paintball. I think it'd create more pros and like rosters like us. We have 7 guys that are probably going to play cup. I mean, and we would have to have 10 to 12. And that's to rotate, or I'd say 10 to 11 is probably the ideal number if that was the case for everyone. But everyone's playing too, because you have to. With a running clock, X ball. And I think the timing would still be about the same if you do the 45 seconds in between each point.
At the Florida event, the pace was way up. You know, the 30 seconds, you had no time. You had to, and obviously it was all shoehorned into a time slot. But I love what you said about the running clock. I think that we need as many facets of paintball as possible. I want to see big games too. Like I want to see 20 on 20. I want to see the rec ball world championship. Like where's the best rec ball team in the world? I want to see them battle it out, you know, and we just got to keep doing everything that we can to showcase paintball in all of its different formats. I do think the 3v3 is cool because we can get it into unique locations and that'll help get new eyes on it just because it's a smaller deal to move around. So we could be seeing ourselves in some really cool spots highlighting that. But I do agree that paintball is meant to be played with bodies and it should be a big calculated chess match. Whereas the 3v3 is a little bit more digestible to play and view, but it doesn't give the game the full. It's like
it doesn't have the depth, and
it is missing a little bit of depth there for sure.
I think you look at like the NBA Big Three versus 5-on-5 NBA. I don't fucking watch that 3-on-3 NBA thing.
No,
it's not basketball. It's just not. It's just 3 1-on-1s.
3 1-on-1.
That's about it.
Yes,
and I don't think it's entertaining, and I don't think it's good. And like that's not like we didn't even try to practice for any of the 3v3 stuff until we were like seeing comments, people talking shit. I'm like, all right, fucking fine. Let's treat this one serious. Then we go get second, and I'm like, guys, 3-on-3 is the most simple form of paintball, but it's also the least entertaining.
I agree.
I just don't have fun watching it at all. Like
I agree. Yeah, it's 5-on-5 is where really dynamic things can happen, really high level play can happen. I think we need to focus all of our efforts on trying to do the best job we can of showcasing that. I also think, Ty, you know, what you said about being able to get into unique spaces, I think that really just comes down to having a pro only circuit as well, right? Because even if it's 5-on-5 with our size field, if it's only one field, we can get into the same spaces. Yes. You know, I don't know that there's, you know, many spaces where it's like you wouldn't be able to. So
true.
Yeah, I
personally, I love 3v3. I don't know. I'm going to push back on that because I really enjoy playing it. It's a lot of fun. I like the pace. I feel like the pace was crazy. It really super.
You can have that pace.
Yeah, but like, have you guys actually talked to like the general public? Because I can tell you,
yes. Well, yeah,
90% of the people I've talked to is like, that was stupid. I was angry to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it, and like, dude, I'm watching it live, and I don't even know who's shooting who. Like, unless they're just getting bunkered, but like, there's no teamwork. It's just at that point, let's just play 1-on-1s and go from there. That's more entertaining than 3. If we're gonna keep dropping down the number, let's just do 1-on-1 tournaments as a fucking sideshow, and it'll be like I don't know. I just think
Ty's a little biased because he had a great experience. You guys won the 3-on-3. It was super cool. I mean, being in the Disney Sports Complex, being in that stadium, being on ESPN, that's an epic experience. And it was a great thing for paintball. I'm not trying to shit on what we are doing there. And I love that at the very least, you know, you could disagree with the steps that are being taken. You could agree with the steps that are being taken. But the reality is the people in charge are taking steps almost every single day to try to get us, you know, in the best place possible. And that I believe, that I know wholeheartedly. I know, you know, Tom Cole, Jason, you know, Bart, Randy. I know that they all genuinely are trying to do what they really believe is best. I do think that, and again, it's just my opinion. Who knows if I'm right or wrong? But I agree. The 5-on-5, we have such a beautiful game. We've spent multiple decades refining this thing to what it is now, and you don't accidentally get to this place. Like, again, we've modified the rules each year over a long period of time to really make this game what it is. And we can continue to, you know, make changes and critique, you know, little thing, whether it's a shot clock or there's ways to improve the game, but to kind of completely change the format, I don't think that's the answer. I genuinely don't. But we'll see. You know, again, who knows? Maybe it is what hits, and you know, we got to also play 3-on-3.
Well, it sounds like we're going to have 5v5 in the stadium as well, like we talked about, and that you know, and like you said, March, if we're able to move that into unique spaces as well, once again, it's just about getting this amazing game that we've all fallen in love with. It's changed all of our lives in front of new eyeballs, and let them know paintball's a thing. Pro paintballers exist. It's not this dangerous, crazy thing that you think it is. It's actually one of the most life-changing sports you could possibly ever get your family involved in. Colt, you're a testament to that. Your family's a testament to that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I only hope that we can continue to change lives with this sport. And that's really the mission, is hoping that we can get it into, and I don't, like I said, whatever format, if it's the rec ball champions that do it, let's go rec ball champions, but we want to get this in front of the eyes of everyone so we can help. It really is a life-changing sport.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and that was a great question from Fab. Fab is a really great community member. Actually, he is always pushing and asking really good questions about, how we can, make the sport grow. And he has a car audio channel that he is absolutely blown up. So he kind of understands what gets people's attention and how to get, views and eyes on things. So always appreciate your input there, Fab. Let's see. We've got this question from Ken E. He wants to know, how do you see the roster shifting upon your return to the field? As someone who rose through the ranks and coaches a lot, what are the 3 most important things divisional teams get wrong and need to focus on? A lot of stuff there, but some good questions. So first question, how do you see the roster shifting upon your return to the field? Tough spot to put you in on the show.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, that's
Who are you sitting?
Yeah. Well, the thing is like, I feel like people, I don't know. It's a hard question to answer. It depends on the layout. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think the best 5 are going to play, and we're not going to be like, oh, Colt's back, he's starting. If I suck, I suck. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not going to play. Like, I'll just ride the bench. I'm not stressed about that. Whatever we can do to be successful is what's going to happen. Now, I do have the confidence in myself that what I bring to the table is I'm probably going to play every point. But I don't know, man. I think what it does is actually creates more of a rotational opportunity for everyone. Because I like, we picked up Jake and he wasn't going to be a 3, like he was going to be a 2. And then, what happened. And now he had to play the 3, and the way the layouts have broke down, he's had to be the 3.
What a crazy development in that too. And how he stepped up. I mean, just, remarkable, but.
No, absolutely. I mean, we also got to remember, like, he's been a dog. Like he grew up as a young kid winning high level divisions from in divisional with Houston and like VCK and around John and Fuzzy. So like we kind of coincide with our mentality of paintball all kind of from that, John and Fuzz era and learning from those guys. And he was with them closely in like quarters forever. So like we've all known each other or known about each other in Texas for a fat minute. So he was the same with Cyrus. He fit in seamlessly. Right. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just, best 5 play. And I think it creates more of a rotational opportunity depending on how the layout breaks down. But it's not that someone's sitting. It's more just like, let's see where everyone's going to be successful at. I think it's just, more options and more rotational ability.
You knock that out of the park.
Yeah. Team first, always. That's
Second part of that question. He asked, what are the 3 most important things divisional teams get wrong and need to focus on? Let's just choose one.
Just winning. I think people try to go up too fast.
A lot of teams get that wrong. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? But yeah. My bad. I guess let me elaborate. So like, I think a lot of teams will they'll get close to even making semifinals like throughout the whole year, and they're not ready. Ranked up yet, and they're like, I'm gonna go D3, and I'm like, you're fucking stomped. Dude, don't fucking do that. Like, stay in D4 or stay in D5 if you can, and go win.
Yes.
And then I also think that it's an unrealistic expectation of their team as well. I think people, like, I know I said it earlier, like, I expect to win all the time, but like, that doesn't mean when you lose to be like, we fucking suck, like, and like lose your mind, because like at some point you do have to be okay with the baby steps of like, okay, we did a little bit better this event, we did a little bit better. I mean, the first event I ever played, I got fucking last. You just have to understand that you're gonna get better and just have more realistic expectations, but also, don't get too excited every win you get, right? Like, there was a team this weekend that they were clapping and cheering. I thought they won the fucking match. And I go check the score, and there's 4 minutes, and they're only up 2. And I was like, dog, what is going on? Like, why are you cheering and high-fiving? Why is the pit staff high-fiving? Like,
Yeah.
what is going on right now? And I think that's also like, you guys just got to, all right, next point, next
Mhm.
point, next point. I think that's a big one too.
Amazing. All right, my next question. This will be my last one from Mark Paris. Reflecting on this past year, is there any advice you'd give players who have been injured and are struggling to find motivation to come back? Not that you're lacking any motivation, he said, but wants to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like, I was definitely like super depressed, right? Like, but you just kind of have to have that mentality of like, okay, how can I make this better for myself? I kind of touched about it earlier, but I mean, if you get hurt, man, like it is what it is. That's gotta be your mindset. And that, like, again, I can't say that I've been confident this whole time. Honestly, dude, I wasn't even confident 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Like 2 weeks ago, I was genuinely sitting by myself and just like every practice, I'd be sitting after and just being like, am I messing up? Am I being a bad teammate? Like, am I even gonna get to play? Like, I don't know what I should be doing in this moment. And then I kind of just was like, nah, I gotta start being more confident in myself that even if I can't play this event, I'm gonna be that good next year. So like then I started going into that mentality, and then I started putting together some wins, right? Because we play each other a lot. At practice, we'll separate, and then my side started winning a lot, right? Because I started just being like, how can I be the best teammate on the field? And got back into my roots of how I started playing and not trying to just gunfight everyone all the time. I was like, all right, no, I haven't played in 6 months. I got to go back to what I'm really good at, and that was setting up situations and my teammates for success and tapping back into the confidence of I'm that good. And then I started winning a bunch of gunfights, and now I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'm back. You know
Let's
what I
go.
mean? But like that took having that self confidence and getting out of that pity mentality, right? And I think that's a big part of when you get injured. It's natural to fall into that, but you have to catch yourself and then be like, oh no, fucking stop thinking that way and get back to just being that dog that you were before. I think that's
Yeah.
a big thing for me.
So right, man. So right.
Hmm.
Yeah, excellent way to answer that. My last question from the Discord is from Rosa MX. And you did touch on this a little bit, but great question here. Colt, as a fellow big individual, what skills do you work on to have your size not affect the playing field or even it out against the majority of pros who are skinnier and more athletic?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, off the break is a guaranteed easiest thing, right? Shoot a guy off break, doesn't matter how fast they are. But
If
I
you
think
real quick, Colt, if you can shoot someone off the break, this is going to lead into a couple questions. If you could shoot someone off the break 60, 70% of the time, pro teams are going to pick you up.
100%.
Like, period. And
Yeah.
that's a skill that you can just go and train over and over and over. I'm going to let you answer the question, and then I've got a follow up to that.
Yeah, no, and then I think gun dominance is a big one too. Not giving up gun dominance easily, and then using your gun as a bunker when you're moving. Right, always have your gun up. I'm kind of my own moving bunker a lot of the times, to where that way, if that guy does come out to shoot at me, I'm hitting him.
That's
We're
right.
at least trading, or I'm gonna shoot you, and you're gonna fucking let me make this spot now. I think that's a big thing for big guys is being really good at containment, gun dominance, off the break shooting, and running and gunning. I think you can get those four down, you'll play almost every point.
And connecting the field. That's one of your
Yes.
strongest attributes that you have as a player is you bridge the gaps too. And that just comes from the effort. Obviously, you have a unique volume that you can reach on the field. You got a big voice. So that's something you can't really train for. You kind of either got that or you don't. But yeah, connecting the field, giving everything that you can to put all the pieces where they need to be.
No, that's definitely the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That's definitely the biggest thing.
Colt, my follow up to that, and then we'll let you go here, is kind of the old school mentality from teams was always, if you're a young and upcoming player, if you weren't an attacker, you probably weren't going to get a shot at a pro on a pro team. I don't agree with that anymore. I think the game has evolved and changed. But back in the day, that's how it was. You wanted to bring the young guys in. They'd be the ones that run far. They'd be the ones that get in the snake. They'd be the ones that run around the corner, up the Dorito. And the experienced older players were the 2s and 3s, which makes sense. I mean, the 2s and 3s usually do need to be the most, well-versed, dynamic, and experienced players. But what's your opinion on up and coming players do you think somebody can just be a 2 and a 3? And if they do that job well enough and they hone in those skills, they're still going to get opportunities on pro teams? Or do you think young players need to be attackers?
No, I think for me, I look at a player and I go, if I took away your speed, would you be good? And if the answer is no, you got a lot to fucking work on. You know what I mean? And I honestly, dude, there's a lot of, I'm not even gonna get into that. There's a lot of pro players that get a lot of credit, and I'm like, if you took away their speed, they wouldn't even fucking play. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
but that's
I
part of
believe
it
that.
too, though. But that's part of it too.
No, it's part of it
Yeah.
too. But and again, that's just being a fat guy that I'm like,
put some names on it. I dare you.
No, I don't like to give fuel unless they talk a lot of shit to me. And I'll say it to their face. I don't need to say it on a podcast. I got them. But no. And if you took any offense to that, look in the fucking mirror, dog. I don't know what to say.
Well, good thing I know that you're not talking to me because I don't have much speed at all. So
no, you both know I'm not talking about you. Don't get out of here. No, I think a big thing is I forgot what I was trying to say. Oh yeah. So
you take away their speed.
Yeah, if you take away their speed, but like closing is so big in paintball, and I think it's an underlooked thing.
Yeah.
That I think closing is it's how you win tournaments, right? We talked about it earlier. That's why we lost to Uprising, right? It's not closing. Guess what? Our speed worked. We were in their side, and it didn't fucking matter because we didn't close properly. So I think being self-accountable and closing and getting that good at that will get you pro faster, I think, for smart coaches or owners that are looking for players.
Yeah. That's refreshing. I totally agree with you. Yeah. So young kids out there, and again, I've got a lot of kids that I work with, and, their parents ask, well, you keep playing my son in a 3 or as a 2, like, is this what's best for him? I'm like, he's so good at it. These are his strengths. Yes. Like a smart coach, a smart team will absolutely see this and want this on their team. Because the 3 now does need to be dynamic. You also need to be able to go be, the 1 if you have to be. You got to be able to fill different spots and move around the field. So really, really happy to hear you, answer it that way. So awesome.
Yeah, I assimilated a lot to it's kind of a weird assimilation, but golf, you have your driver, you got your mid game, and then you got the putter. If you can't hit all 3 of those, you're not going to be a good golfer. Same with paintball. You could be the best off the break. We talked about the intricate secondaries and all this stuff, but you can't close. You don't know how to finish a game. You're not going to be a good paintball player.
I like that, Ty. That's 100%. A good analogy.
You got to have all 100%. 3 dialed in.
You could hit it 350 yards. You could bomb it on the green, but if you 4-putt, you're double bow.
Yeah.
That's it. That's right.
Yeah, that's a good analogy there, Ty. All right, we got some originals here.
Yes, sir.
Colt, brother, thank you so much, man. We definitely are looking forward to having you at World Cup on or off the field. Obviously, we want to see you on the field. What you guys have done with Paintball Fit has just been excellent. Hope to see you keep it up. Obviously not rooting for you guys as a team at World Cup, but, rooting for you individually, for your own individual successes. Is there anything you would like to shout out? Any social media? Let people know where they can follow you guys, keep up with you, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Watch us on Fit Life. We release those episodes every week on YouTube, Paintball Fit. And then, follow us on Hydra. We're releasing products all the time. If you want to support any of the fit guys, it's directly correlated with Hydra. So,
Amazing.
I mean,
oh my gosh, we have to ask this question. Verb is behind Fit Life, and Verb has a question for every episode, and I don't think he was doing it last time you were on the show. Last question before we let you go: favorite food and favorite place to eat it.
Oh man,
Verb asks. He asks every single one of our guests this question.
Dude, I don't know. My favorite food is probably just like a good Italian sandwich.
Oh yeah,
dude,
like a torpedo or something like that, bro.
I just love deli sandwiches. That's like my shit. Yeah, dude, it's so good. And I mean,
capicola. You have some capicola?
But the problem is in where I live, Waxahachie, Texas, there's not a lot of sandwich places ever. So I just have Jimmy John's and stuff like that. But burger wise,
Italian sandwich, you're gonna come out with Jimmy John's?
I know.
Bad.
Hey man, it's not like an actual Italian sandwich, but it's what I got
barbecue, bro.
in small town Texas. You know what I mean? That's fucking.
So what's the best one that you've ever had then? Like the best Italian sub ever? Where was that?
That's hard.
Is it in Texas or somewhere else?
No, there was I can't remember their name. I want to say it was Philly or Atlantic City. There was a place.
Mm.
I
It's
knew
like
you
a
were going to say
hole in the
Atlantic City.
bro. It
Yeah.
was like a hole in the wall place, and it was so good. I don't even know where it was from,
We
but
got
it
to
was
find
like
it.
I think I know which one you're talking about, because in Atlantic City, there's a hole in the wall sandwich place, and there's usually an old Italian lady, or she might be Spanish actually, that operates it. Was it
yes.
her, like an old
I,
couple? And it's
but I
all
didn't
the
go
teams go.
into it though. That's the
Oh,
problem. Is my wife and them went and got it and like brought us food, and I just devoured it. I was like, this is so good. And then
yeah.
it just kind of makes you upset because you're like, I'll never be able to get this again. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's
Next year.
but no, dude, like sandwiches and like burgers are my go-to. There's a burger spot here called Pops. That's the spot.
Okay.
It's just a
So-
homemade burger. Old
Yeah.
man and his family make it, and it's really
Nice.
good.
Bomb. Yeah, Verb's definitely going to hit you up and try to find the sub spot. He's mapping out the entire country of all the best places to go and like get some food.
Oh, he's got me. He's got me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, dude, thank you so much for your time, man, and thank you for everything that you and the Fit Fam are doing. And we will see you out in Florida in
Yes, sir.
just a few weeks. There, you be safe.
Yes, sir. Y'all too.
See you guys.
All right, later, bro.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to the show. We appreciate your support more than you know. As you guys heard about midway through the episode, if you guys would like to support PTG in any way, you could head over to ptgpaintball.com. You could click the orange Patreon link and sign up at any level and get access to our Discord. The Discord is one of the most phenomenal communities in the game of paintball. We have so many different channels in there. It's great for learning. It's great for connecting, finding teams, selling equipment, whatever it is you want to do in there. We truly have it all. And we hope to see you in there. So again, head over to ptgpaintball.com, click the orange Patreon link, and we will see you in there.